This Saturday, we want to take you on a journey. It begins in the Parliament of the land.
The Vernon Field Aerotropolis will offer break bulk manufacturing, logistic facilities, as well as the business to over 150 countries in Asia, the Americas, Western Europe, and Africa's West Coast.
Moves to the environs outside the chambers.
Prime real estate properties in St. Anne and Montego Bay. Major developments for Kingston. And over in St. Catherine, investment opportunities being offered by the Urban Development Corporation UDC as it moves apace to advance development across the island.
Hi, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Please stick around.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
It's now time for our first major stop on this Jamaica Magazine tour. We're joined by Minister Mike Henry as he navigates government's dynamic plan for a first world transport system and a cutting-edge mining sector.
The Vernon Field Development Plan is among the major initiatives for the Transport and Mining Ministry this fiscal year. Already, Cabinet has given approval for the Kingston Pen Aerodrome to be established as a logistics park and its domestic air service activities relocated to Vernon Field. That site will also be the new base for the Jamaica Defence Force Air Wing and allied functions such as aircraft maintenance and repair operations, as well as cargo and courier services.
The next steps for the Vernon Field development is the establishment of the aerodrome, the development of the timeline budget for the relocation of Kingston Pen, the provision of the notice to JCAA for the relocation of Kingston Pen on JDF, and that has begun, and the coordination with the National Lands Agency on the lands allocated to the project.
It's the first step towards establishing Vernon Field as an aerotropolis that can accommodate the largest air cargo planes in the world.
The modern runways, improved airlift, state-of-the-art cargo facilities, large specialist cargo planes, MRO service, and a myriad of supporting businesses, the aerotropolis will be the key enabler of rapid business. The Vernon Field Aerotropolis will offer break bulk manufacturing, logistic facilities, as well as the business to over 150 countries in Asia, the Americas, Western Europe, and Africa's West Coast.
In the 2017-2018 fiscal year, the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority will continue to modernize the country's air navigation services and improve the operational efficiencies of the air traffic management infrastructure. The ministry expects to complete the privatization of the Norman Manley International Airport this year. Improvements at the JUTC will continue this fiscal year. Priority will be on rehabilitating 25 buses that were written off to expand the daily rollout of units. The agency will also be improving its monitoring activities to allow for real-time surveillance of operations. Other efficiency measures will include a pilot project to determine the feasibility of transforming the publicly owned bus service to use liquefied natural gas (LNG).
This is to be rolled out under the JUT stewardship at Montego Bay Metro Bus Company in the second city through a bus and fuel supply platform, along with technical guidance from New Fortress Energy.
The company will also test the combined use of diesel oil and compressed natural gas as it aims for a 25% savings on fuel costs. Meanwhile, work continues on the Portmore Transport Hub, and the first phase of a rural-urban transport plan is to be rolled out between Old Harbour in St. Catherine and a number of routes in Clarendon. The merger of the Transport Authority and the Island Traffic Authority is a priority for government. In the meantime, the Transport Authority will create 100 new routes island-wide, resulting in 2,500 new licenses being offered to transport operators. The Island Traffic Authority will work on a gradual rollout of its computerized vehicle management system at depots island-wide. Under government's multimodal transport policy, the planned restoration of passenger and cargo rail service rolls on.
Under the contracts established, Herzog plans to rehabilitate and revitalize the railway in a three-phase program, starting from Montego Bay to Appleton Phase 1, Spanish Town to Yorkton and Spanish Town to Clarendon as Phase 2A, Clarendon Park to Appleton as Phase 2B. The timeline associated with the two phases would see the entire project be completed in approximately 3 years, with Phase 1 completed within 12 months after the signing of the concession agreement.
Under the mining portfolio, much attention is being paid to the development of a new minerals policy. This, plus a range of investment projects, is expected to support an uptick in the mining sector.
Jamaica will have a new 120-megawatt plant fueled by LNG to be constructed by New Fortress.
Also, China's Jiquan Iron and Steel Company, JISCO, plans to double capacity at Alpart and begin production on aluminium products.
This is now to produce certain things around the whole aspect using the same energy mix. In fact, it's 18,000 tons of aluminum foil to be projected by that.
Expansion is also in the works for the Noranda New Day bauxite plant, while upgrading works will be taking place at Windalco Yorton.
I have proposals from Russell Kirkvine, and I'm happy to see that the Ministry of Finance can at last have confidence in a Minister of Mining to project 40% growth in the industry for this year.
Assessment of selected high-quality limestone deposits across the island will continue for use in industrial manufacturing of products such as paper, paints, chemicals, animal feed, and medicinal items. Also being pursued, the development of viable sources of skid-resistant rock material for use on transport services such as airport runways and highways, and the production of sand from hard rocks. Just some of the pursuits of the Ministry of Transport and Mining in the year ahead as it plots a path towards Jamaica's growth and prosperity.
If you're watching the JIS, you're always in the know when it comes to government information. Keep watching, keep informed, and tell your friends. JIS, your #1 source for government info.
Energy saving is not a maybe, it's a must. So hear this. Yo, turn off your light, turn off your TV and your fan. When you not use it, turn off your heater and your AC as part of the plan. When you not use it, the public sector retrofitting, so the private sector and we fi join in. Retrofitting? Yeah. What that? How you do that? Listen up, hey. A whole time light bulb. That's what that. Use energy saving bulb. I delete that. Put a regulator on your refrigerator. Use your wits to save water. Be smart, you know. And all motor is so long fi drive fast. Ease up half of the gas. Save gas. Energy conservation throughout the nation. Every woman and man come join in the plan. The plan to save energy. We must save energy. Ease up on the energy. Up on the energy. Save today, protect tomorrow.
You're still with us. Good. As promised, it's now time to venture outside Gordon House to see what's on the horizon for the area surrounding the 7th largest natural harbor in the world.
The Urban Development Corporation, in association with the Jamaica Information Service, presents Urban Scope. The Urban Development Corporation, UDC, continues to advance and spearhead the redevelopment of downtown Kingston. Among the projects undertaken is the build-out of the Festival Marketplace, which comprises 3 components: a food bazaar or food court, the Victoria Craft Market, and a spacious car park, all on one compound. The food bazaar is designed in a park-like setting with outdoor seating and has 5 duplex vending shops. The facility also has an information and security booth.
We believe that a facility like this will provide space for persons to relax, enjoy Jamaican food, the nice ocean breeze, and in general to use this space as part of their heritage.
This increased activity is also expected to revitalize nightlife happenings in the downtown area. As for the car park component, this area will also be utilized as an entertainment venue. With the expansion of the facility and an increase in the number of persons coming into the space, the 110 vendors in the Victoria Craft Market will definitely benefit and see growth in their businesses.
Once you have more persons visiting the area, they will then go into the craft market and their business will improve.
The revitalization of the festival marketplace will add to the redevelopment of downtown Kingston, increase economic activity, and create new small businesses and employment. The festival marketplace precedes other redevelopment plans for the Kingston waterfront by the UDC.
We hope to bring in international cruise vessels. We plan to have a floating pier close to this site as a start, and hopefully later on we intend to have Kingston Harbour developed as one of the stops for international cruise shipping.
That long-term plan is to build a fender pier and deck adjacent to the food bazaar to facilitate cruise ship passengers. The UDC says to date, it has been making headway in its undertakings of the redevelopment of downtown Kingston.
We have been very successful because most of the land that UDC owned is almost completely developed. We have about 4 lots left, and our development plan calls for the establishment, either built by UDC or in partnership with the private sector, residential complex, perhaps 10 or so stories overlooking the waterfront.
What we want to say to Jamaica and investors is that the UDC is ready. We have a number of plans that are on our books that we have gotten promulgation since 2010, 2011, and we are now ready for implementation and detailed production to move ahead with those plans.
Commercial activities are expected to increase in downtown, as already preparatory works have commenced on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs building and Grace Kennedy head office, and also with the United Nations House set to come on stream. Still downtown, investors were intrigued to learn of developments such as a multi-story parking garage and an area for the construction of office space and the renovation of the Oceana Hotel. Renamed Caribbean Place, it will accommodate a hotel, office spaces, and apartments. More housing solutions are designated for the waterfront on West Street.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Give yourself a fighting chance. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
In times of flooding, the likes of which we saw last weekend, many issues come to the fore. One of them, just how secure is our water supply network, and can I trust what's coming through my pipes? Follow us to find out.
The human body cannot function without water. While you may live for up to 3 weeks without food, you cannot go more than a week without water. From breaking down the food we eat so the body can use it, to helping us heal when we get sick, water is needed for almost every process that takes place in the body. And although 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, drinking it directly from seas, rivers, wells, or aqueducts may make you sick. Untreated water contains bacteria and other germs, as well as chemicals that may be dangerous to the body. So in order to get the water from here to here safely, it has to be treated. Water treatment processes differ depending on the source. If the water is coming from a river, for example, here at the Negro River in St. Thomas, it usually goes through an extensive treatment process before reaching the pipe.
Here is where we do the first type of treatment in the form of sedimentation and screening. Behind me you can see where we screen the bigger stuff like the sticks, the stones and debris. Then we come down to the sediment where we separate the sand from the stones. And then this water will leave from St. Thomas and pipe into Kingston via pipeline into the Mona Reservoir.
The Mona Reservoir is the island's largest raw water storage facility and provides the liquid to over 30% of people living in Kingston and St. Andrew. If this is where you get your water, here is where the next step in the treatment process occurs.
Here in the reservoir, we allow for maximum levels of mixing, maximum levels of aeration, as can be done here at the facility. We also, at the reservoir, you allow for settling out of the silt and the suspended particles, dirt particles, that would otherwise be in the raw water. We then take the water from the reservoir and take it to the Mona treatment plant.
At the treatment plant, chemicals are added to further purify the water. Chlorine is first added to kill bacteria.
You have stages that include flocculation, where we actually add chemicals to the water that allow those microscopic dirt particles that are still in the water to be brought together in what we call flocks, and then we are able to skim it off and remove it from the water.
The water is then passed through filters which contain layers of sand, gravel, charcoal or synthetic materials that remove remaining small particles. The final stage is disinfection. Here, chlorine is added to kill any other bacteria or germ.
Ensuring that we have what we refer to as chlorine residual that goes with the water, so that as the water travels along the pipeline to our customers, should it come in contact with any germs along the way, there is enough chlorine residual in that water to destroy those germs and still be delivered to the customer in good quality.
The water is tested all throughout the treatment process to ensure that what you get in your pipe meets World Health Organization standards.
For several years running, the National Water Commission has won the best tasting water in the Caribbean. We have also been acknowledged by the various arms of the United Nations at different points in time as having one of the best quality water in the hemisphere.
That is definitely something we can drink to. Wet hands with water. Apply enough soap to cover all hand surfaces. Rub hands palm to palm. Right palm over left dorsum with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Backs of fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotational rubbing of left thumb clasped in right palm and vice versa. Rotational rubbing backwards and forwards with clasped fingers of right hand in left palm and vice versa. Rinse hands with water. Dry hands thoroughly with a single-use towel. Use towel to turn off faucet. Your hands are now safe.
As we near the end of this journey, it's time to revisit the top news stories of the week.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. On Monday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness indicated that government would be taking a closer look at the management and approval process for developments in the country to reduce the impact of severe weather conditions. His statement was in response to the flooding and land slippages caused by heavy rainfall over the previous weekend. Meanwhile, local government minister Desmond McKenzie told Parliament on Tuesday that a comprehensive assistance program would be implemented for persons affected by the flood rains. He said damage to the road network in affected parishes would also be addressed, as well as the broader impact on the country's infrastructure.
I wish to advise that the ministry will be reviewing the existing structure, particularly in the town centers and other urbanized areas of the country, to see where runoff capacity can be significantly expanded in the short to medium term.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, made his sectoral presentation this week and announced that government would be revising residential densities and issuing new zoning standards.
It will support new existing businesses by informing investors and developers of the types and scale, magnitude of development that can be facilitated in a particular area.
During his sectoral presentation, National Security Minister Robert Montego warned licensed firearm holders that their permits would be revoked if they use their weapons contrary to good practice.
Let me be very clear. If you pull your weapon or discharge it in a public space illegally, it will not only be removed and the license revoked, but you can take this commitment to the bank. It will not be returned.
Minister Shahini Robinson also made her sectoral presentation and announced that a 30% increase in PATH benefits would come into effect June 1. She also announced that $15 million had been set aside to provide scholarships to PATH students for the next academic year.
This is intellectual capital investment, and we want to implore Jamaican families to secure the future now for the next generation by investing in their children's education. Send the children to school, encourage them to do well, and the government will help to further their educational pursuits.
Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith says government is actively monitoring new legislation being introduced to the United States Congress that seeks to impose an additional fee of 2% on the US dollar amount for remittance transfers to certain foreign countries, including Jamaica. She says the Jamaican embassy in Washington, D.C. will begin to sensitize U.S. congressional leaders on the potential impact on the island. Ground has been broken for the expansion of the Stimulation Plus Early Childhood Development Center in Kingston to facilitate increased enrollment. The $70 million project is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB.
The Stim Plus Basic School is a third program, provides a full-day intervention program, and it's welcomed by parents and caregivers who would normally have to remain home to care for their children. They now get the opportunity to work or become engaged in entrepreneurship while their children are cared for in a safe and stimulating environment.
And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness issued a Medal of Appreciation to the oldest person in Jamaica and the world, 117-year-old Violet Moss Brown, during a visit to her home this week.
You have brought recognition to our country, and you have brought attention to our senior citizens. You have also raised awareness in the minds of people that if they live a good life when they're young, that they do the things necessary to preserve their health, that they can live. I take note in your statement that you live long because you work hard, that a life of robust, strong living and exercise and work is good for us, makes us strong. So your years will be multiplied by that, and you have demonstrated that. I wish for you continued life.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
When a motorcyclist or pedal cyclist is involved in a crash, he or she is likely to face serious head injuries. With a helmet on, those could be less severe. Always wear a securely fastened helmet and ensure pillion passengers wear them too. Never reuse a helmet once it has taken a hit. Avoid drinking alcohol and other distractions. Do not bob and weave through traffic or ride facing the oncoming traffic. And remember to follow all established rules of the road. Avoid the legal and physical penalties. On the road, safety comes first. Obey the rules and save lives.
They say all good things must come to an end, but I'm not sure I agree. Let's think of this more as a pause, a rest stop in this ever-running information train that is Jamaica Magazine. To our regular companions, you know the deal. Those joining us for the first time, look out for us on this station tomorrow. In the meantime, pay a visit to our website and the JIS YouTube channel. And if you're social media savvy, check out the links on screen right now. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.